the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
And good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another live episode of Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. And that's a great coincidence with my name being Aaron Phillips. Otherwise, the title of the show would be really stupid. Anyway, thank you for watching on Facebook, WWDB-TV, or obviously you're on the Aaron's Hour page. Same two channels on YouTube. If you're driving around town, wherever you are, download WWDB-TV to Android, WWDB-TV LV for your iPhones. If you want to call us, that would be cool too, 702-992-3207. However, if you have Roku, download the WWDB-TV channel to Roku and not only catch this show, but the multitude of many plethora-like shows on this network will be there. That's $5 I got to put in the box, right, with plethora. Anyway, wherever you are, how do you say that word?
The plethora.
Plethora. The voice, if you don't recognize, that's okay. Nobody knows what his real voice is like. Anyway, the incomparable entertainer, Mr. John D. Domenico, joins me in studio. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Thanks
doing
for having
very
me
well.
on.
Thank you for.
You're killing it with the shirt.
You like the shirt?
That was a great shirt. I mean, that's something you would see at a wrestling match.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Classy, stylish.
I actually have a jacket very similar to this. And a couple of weeks ago, we were working an event, and pro wrestlers from one of the national company was there. They saw my jacket, and the guy said to me, he said, "I'd love to wear that in the ring tonight." So I said to him, "Well, you know what, dude? You want to do it? That's fine. I'll give it to you." He says, "I get sweat. Look, dude, after you were to wear it, all I'd ask you to do would be to sign the jacket, because I wouldn't be putting it on anymore anyway. It'd be in a frame somewhere.
Case.
Exactly. Yeah. Worn by so-and-so." But anyway, I figured, I never really did all of these jackets and shirts, which I use for my public stuff.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to have to class up the show now a little bit. Just wear my jacket. I don't know. About damn time. You're right.
And I love wrestling. I love WWE.
You're a Hall of Famer.
I shaved Vince McMahon's head. It could have been my hair, but they wouldn't touch mine because it's so incredible. So incredible.
And Mr. President, you're also a member of the WWE Hall of Fame in the entertainment world.
That is right. I don't think there'd be a WWE without me, if you know what I'm talking about.
Nice rhyme, by the way.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm very poetic. Very poetic.
Poetic justice. Anyway, all right, Jennifer, I see you in the chat room. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome, everybody, as well. Jennifer is from Hawaii. She tunes in.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in, Jennifer.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to it. This is a little segment that I like to call Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
Was that because of Batgirl?
No, that's boy. No.
Sorry. Yeah,
right. All right, excellent. Sweet. All right. Hi, I'm Wayne Campbell from Aurora, Illinois. Okay. She was like Abraham Lincoln.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, Aaron, just sit back.
I'm gonna sit back. John's gonna take it over in 1,000 voices and just make it all happen. I said to John before I went in there, just do your thing with voices. I don't care wherever, whenever. I have a funny feeling the cheeks will never go down because I'll be laughing so hard all day. All right. So as I always like to start off with some winnings. Vegas is all about winning.
This is it.
Hopefully,
we're all winners here in town,
except for the losers who helped build this town,
right?
Of course. So we thank you all for coming. However, a woman hits jackpot in Las Vegas with a royal flush while playing 3-card poker.
Wow.
The winners being announced have just been crazy. So here we go.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
How do you have a royal flush if you only have 3 cards?
I have no idea. I only read what's there.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll find out if you let me read the story.
Oh.
Angelica Veronica Alejandro of Nuevo Leon, Mexico, landed a mega jackpot while playing 3-card poker at the Link Hotel on the Strip. Sunday at 11 p.m., she'll take home $239,054. But she's from Mexico. I wonder what the rate is.
Yeah. They're automatically taxed. Isn't there somebody there?
In theory, yes. You're supposed to fill out the form.
Yeah, right on the spot. I've always wondered about that.
I think it's anything. It used to be $1,500 or higher you'd have to fill out.
Yeah,
but it's $1,200. But didn't Dina Titus not too long ago? She was trying to get something passed in the legislation to increase that rate to 15. That's why I had the number 15 in my head, but that didn't pass. So $1,200 and a penny You have to sign the tax form. So
I wonder if that woman's single because there's gonna be a lot of men
I-
chasing after her.
Well, John wants to send a dating app to every one of these winners. I always announce. So she had been playing poker at the resort for 2 hours before hitting a royal flush. And now she's going to be able to pay for her child's college education. But the story that I always love that they never share with this.
Wait. Is he going to Yale? I mean,
Yeah.
$250,000.
That's right.
Harvard, the whole village can go to college.
She's going to go to Trump University.
That's
Oh,
right.
no. Oh, my goodness.
I feel like Antonio Banderas. I have to contact this woman. She's very, very beautiful.
So anyway, congratulations to her. $239,000 richer.
Real money.
Absolutely it is. And it's great publicity for the link.
Yes.
But have you noticed, so since the pandemic, more winners are being announced than I can ever remember. And I know it's, I'm sure, a marketing ploy.
I totally agree. And I think, not that people ever forget about Las Vegas, but it's one of those things like, hey, come here for a great time. Come to see Katy Perry. Come to do this. Come to do that. Oh, and by the way, winnings are way up. So when you come in from EDC at 4 a.m, hit the tables.
Well, some of those people who would play from EDC, if they lost their shirt, you wouldn't be able to
You wouldn't be able to tell.
That's right.
I remember, what was it? I guess right before COVID, I was at one of the hotels on the Strip, and the buses were taking.
Right.
I swear, this one girl had on like dental floss. She's like dental floss. I'm thinking, like, when I was a kid, I would kill to see this in a magazine, in a Playboy magazine, and here it is, like 4 foot in front of me, and there's not one, there's like 100.
That's
You're
right.
like,
That's right. It's like that's when you wish you weren't. You would wish you would be by yourself to enjoy all that. Because if you were somebody else of importance, man, you're SC rude. I can tell you that much.
The first thing I think about with EDC, people are like, I had a friend who could get me VIP tickets, and I was like, I don't like standing a long time. I don't the standing, not too much.
No standing whatsoever.
No standing for me. I watch these concerts, and they're just and they're standing on their feet for like 5 hours. I'm like,
my wife and I went to see Styx last year.
Oh yeah,
great.
classic.
So we were up in.
Was it DeYoung? Dennis DeYoung is not with.
No, it wasn't him. So we were at Smith Center, so we were in the first level up, and I looked down to the floor level, and there were people our age.
Yeah,
it wasn't the 20-somethings.
No,
and everybody's down there, like you were just talking about. They were standing for the entire, and the songs are great. Yeah, you obviously, but. To look down and see the 40, 50-somethings for 2 hours standing up and enjoying it, I'm glad I had a seat.
Yeah,
I got up
through
certain songs, but it's crazy.
I want to drink. I have back, like everybody, back issues. I want to design a thing that literally just pulls my head up and straightens my spine.
Sketches won't help.
This is what I find,
That's right. You stay up late at night, right? Yeah. It's thinking about.
No, I actually go to bed. I go to bed really early because when I'm on Howard Stern, I have to be up at 2:30 a.m.
Right, because of the time difference.
Yeah.
Are you on? How often are you on with him now?
I was on 9 times in the last 3 months.
Wow.
I mean, not the last 3 months, in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, God.
We did a whole bunch of stuff. Usually they have me on like on a Monday.
Right.
And then we just had a run of stuff. With Trump being arrested, it triggered this, like I did 3 days in a row, then I had a week off, then I did 3 days in a row, and then I came back for another 3 days,
Wow.
So it's
I'm sure all that gave you a lot more material.
Oh, a lot more material. Not that I need it.
No, there's enough out there.
There's enough out there. Just on anything.
That's right. Las Vegas local wins $170,000 after hitting a 7-card straight flush on Pai-Gow. That's a game I never understand.
I don't understand that one either. I've seen it was in one of the station casinos.
Well, yeah, Sunset Station. Mary is a Las Vegas local. She had a 7-card straight flush, securing the multiple property progressive jackpot. She won $172,270 while playing. Officials with the casino said the Pai-Gow progressive was reset to only $14,000. Think about that. How long that jackpot had to go before winning from 14. But again, this is one of these stories that I say, how much did this person have to spend on bets before hitting?
Yeah, that would that would be awesome to know. I would love to hear that. No, well, she's probably played over.
Right, that's it. Right, that's what I'm wondering. Right, so it's like when I used to sell timeshare, people would say things to me like, we don't vacation a lot, Or I go to a hotel and they pay for my stay, they're complimentary, and I look at them, I say, you realize you've prepaid for that room all these years you went to that casino and gambled, right? You realize that, right? Oh, yeah. So that's what's kind of like with this. How much did they spend? But, John, you have a chance with this lady. She's local. So maybe
I was going to ask you.
she is local.
Yeah.
All I know is it's Mary. Look her up in the phone book.
Okay.
All these winnings, I feel like Owen Wilson. Oh, wow.
All right, here's one that's not Las Vegas, but close enough. Laughlin checks in with the winner.
Laughlin, what a dump. What a dump. When I become president again, we are going to build a wall around Las Vegas and make Laughlin pay for it, because that town is you know what it is. I'm not going to say it. I don't want him to get beeped and fined. But
So you can send your message to John D. at
JohnnyDComplaints.com.
and it's up on the third floor by the pool. Anyway, a lucky guest at Don Laughlin's Riverside Resort Hotel and Casino hit a massive slot jackpot. Are you ready for this?
Can we guess?
Sure, go ahead.
85,000.
Oh, way off.
Low or high?
312,000.
You're pretty damn close.
I know.
You saw the article, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
386,252 playing Wheel of Fortune Gold Spin in Laughlin. Michael is his name. Congratulations, Michael, as he went away with $386,000. But again, how much did he? Because the Wheel of Fortune jackpots or the slots are usually dollar slots. And so it takes, you got to spend money and make money, I guess.
That's amazing. I think that's one of the highest ones I've ever heard recently.
Yeah. And you know what I also noticed? They actually announced winners from the airport. Because I was always under the belief that the airport always had the tightest machines because it's a captured audience, right? But shortly after the pandemic ended and everybody was opening up, man, I was reading winners almost every week from the airport.
That's incredible.
Which is nuts given what's out there. All right, we're gonna go to the East Coast for the last two stories that I'll share.
Mohegan Sun, Atlantic City.
No, actually, Schenectady, New York.
Schenectady, folks. Larry King live, coming to you live from Schenectady.
Well, here,
today's guest.
Larry, could you read that news? Or let's see if Larry can.
All right,
can do
Schenectady, we're on the air. This is from News 10. I know everyone at that station. A Schenectady man who won $1 million on a scratch-off ticket, according to the New York Lottery. Antonio Ricardo claimed the top prize on the Strike It Scratch Off game. Riccio, what's the name? Is I said that right?
Riccio.
Riccio. Okay. Bought the ticket at Stewart Shop, not Martha Stewart. Stewart Shop's located at 4240 Conswell Road in Schenectady. I'll be there next week, folks, by the way. He chose to receive his prize as a one-time lump sum total. Wow.
Larry King just left the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that's what I made my last year on CNN. $546,840. Half $1 million. Over $500,000. The New York Lottery, which the saying goes, you got to be in it to win it. Said all the top prizes on Strike It Rich have been claimed. Players can continue to cash lower prizes through April 4th, but this guy took all the money.
There's nobody else to claim anything.
Keep playing the game, the New York Lottery scratch-off game, by downloading the Game Report.
There you go. Thank you, Larry.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
That's a lot of money.
How about scratch-offs? That's the other trend the last couple of weeks. People are winning huge jackpots and scratch-offs. So that's why I like sharing these.
Is that a bunch of different states, or is New York like leading?
Well, this was every state had. Well, Jersey had them. Well, they had the scratch-offs.
Yeah, I remember.
Of course, we don't
PA
have any.
had them
right.
when I was a kid.
All the East Coast, but this is just in this. This was for just New York Lottery. This one. This wasn't a mega like combined. Okay, but again, how many tickets did he have buy over the course of time?
Yeah,
that's what I would love to know.
20 years maybe. Yeah.
Right. So he probably just.
But can you imagine being him, like getting that last thing there, like, I think this can't. Check it. Like his life's going to change.
Yeah, I read one a couple of weeks ago. A lady who was homeless a couple of years ago scratched off a ticket, and she's in her car. Just buying the ticket, just like exactly like you just the story. She's scratching it. She's sitting in the car, and it took her a while to realize she had hit for like $1 million, and now she's absolutely. To me, right now, $1,000 would be life changing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I'll go with 50. That's gas money to get back.
Tallahassee, Florida, checking in with the last piece of news about winners. Florida Lottery announced Wednesday that 28-year-old George Yazgi, I hope I'm saying that correctly, of Jacksonville, claimed the top prize from the Florida 100 times the cash scratch-off game. According to Florida Lottery, you want to guess at this one? He took a one lump sum of, remember, the prize was $2 million.
Right.
So he took a lump sum at 28 of how much do you think he went home with?
$1.7 million.
Not bad. $1,390,000. But what's interesting is the place that sells these, they get commissions off of that.
Right.
So for like every million, they get $2,000 like a commission. So the place that he bought the ticket at actually scored $4,000, and the odds of winning are 1 in every 3.43. I'm guessing million, but it looks like it just says 3.43.
That's like getting struck by lightning 5 times in 5 different spots in the same hour.
That's right. Exactly. All right.
Different states.
In different states. Right.
Yeah. In different bodegas around Florida.
All right, 2 quick pieces of news before we go to our first break. Are you a Garth Brooks fan, by the way?
I'm not. I don't own any of his music, but it's hard not to know "Friends in Low Places" and some of his biggest hits.
Sure.
And the he's just an amazing singer, songwriter.
And he opened up a Legion, right?
Yeah, and I was there. I happened to be there for that. And yeah, the one thing about him, as a performer, as an artist, he loves his audience.
Yeah.
His audience. He does a bit in his show where people hold up signs that they brought, where it's basically he does a jukebox. What do you want to hear? It doesn't have to be his song.
Right.
It could be a Billy Joel song. It could be a Gordon Lightfoot song. And he'll do it. I just think he has such a great relationship with his audience that it's just undeniable. And to think how big he is. I mean, huge. And I was watching the press conference the other day, and he's in sweatpants. Right. I'm like, dude, you're a a Brinks truck pulls up to your house every day. Like, buy a pair of pants.
He could probably make a pair of pants out of the money.
Yeah.
So, but the reason for that press conference was the fact that the 2023 shows, he's doing a residency at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
The tickets went so fast, he felt bad for his fans who couldn't get it. So as soon as 2023 shows went on sale, he felt extremely fortunate and blessed to even think he could get to do this another year. Makes him very happy. However, fans who signed up and were unable to purchase tickets for those original dates for this year will have first access to buy tickets for the extended schedule for 2024 to go see Garth Brooks. The 2024 show dates in April, 18, 20, 21, 25, 27, 28, May of 2024, 2, 4, and 5, June of next year, 26, 28, 29, and for July 3rd, 5th, that's my birthday, 6, 10, 12, and 13. So he's added 4 more months worth of shows.
And they'll sell them all out.
Absolutely. They're probably sold out now by the time
it's like happens. Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden. Oh. I mean, he's the longest running residency ever. And they just, every show, bam, sold out, bam, sold out, bam.
It's crazy. I wish that would happen for me. And everybody.
Shows.
I was going to say, you don't do much stand-up, though. You go to conventions and you do shows.
I do corporate, but, I'll do shows at Notoriety. We had a run of shows last year. We brought in a bunch of Sarah Hester Ross, who I think she was an amazing comedian and, musician. We did I think we did 10 shows, and every week was a different lineup of TikTok comedians from around the country.
Gotcha.
And then I do shows. I've done shows. I did a one-man show last year at the Space. Mark Shannock's place.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, but I need to get back to doing that. In fact, I was going to call Harry at the Laugh Factory since it's going to be closing.
Oh yeah.
With the baseball, like, hey, you want to get me in? Because because I had won that contest, and I've been saving that forever, thinking I'm going to write a stand-up act as me, which is never going to happen. So I might as well go in and do like a Trump set.
I'll get your thoughts. I'm interested on the Oakland Athletics potential move. That'll be interesting. Here's the last piece of news if you haven't heard. Remember the old Artisan Hotel, or Artesian, however that was pronounced?
Yes.
Well, next month they are becoming the first cannabis-inclusive hotel in Las Vegas, set to open up June 2nd, being called the Lexi Las Vegas. Will be taking over. They're located on Sahara and Highland Drive. Will allow cannabis consumption at the property following its multi-million-dollar renovation with 64 newly designed rooms and suites. They will have a state-of-the-art restore air filtration. What else here do I want to mention? They've refreshed the hotel.
I've heard it's such a naughty place, baby. Yeah! Oh, behave, Artisan. You know they shoot the adult movies there. Did you know that?
I heard about
And
that.
Mondays they had Porn Star Monday. Not that I know about it, baby. Yeah!
Well, Austin Powers.
Want to see the footage?
I heard it was a short footage. But anyway, the hotel also offers an intimate experience with its 5 floors and will also be home to one of the Valley's only European-style pool. What does European style mean for most people?
Nudie, baby.
There you go.
Newbies. We were there the very last night before
They closed it.
they shut down for
Oh,
COVID.
okay. Gotcha.
Friends party and the bar. I don't know if they changed the bar area, but you've been there, right?
Yeah, a couple of times.
That bar area is just great. It's so wide open. That massive bar that loops around. It's just a great place for a party. And then the next day, everything shut
Well,
down.
you literally closed it down, didn't
Yeah,
you?
we literally closed it down. It was with 100 friends. It was a fun night, and we were all sitting there like, "What's going to happen when this COVID thing starts tomorrow for the next 2 weeks?
That's right. Yes.
What are we going to do for 2 weeks? We can't leave our house. 2 weeks, try 2.5 years.
That's right. Well, we survived it. We're on the other end. So
Oh, totally.
I need to ask Austin Powers to come back because I would like if
Yeah,
you would do me the
baby.
favor of taking us to break for our commercials.
Especially groovy, right on, baby. It's me, Austin Danger Powers. I'm so dangerous I have to take a break. So we'll be right back, baby. Yeah!
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Hey, welcome back. As I just drowned in my own water supply here. Anyway, welcome back. The great John D. Domenico is here with me today. I'm so honored to have him here with me. When I was putting my promo together to announce on Facebook that you were coming on, usually I like to share tidbits of things about my guests so people know who's coming on. And I'm writing the promo. And I'm thinking, what could I
for my bio?
What could I? Well, no, but what could I possibly put on here about John that nobody would know about?
Right.
So finally, I just said, you know what? The great John D. Domenico, the greatest tribute entertainer, whatever. That's all you need to know, folks. Because if you don't know who John is the world's most Trump style, like wards for this guy. Then I'm sorry, you've been living under a cave. So I'm like, I hope this will work because I'm like, I don't need to describe, who you are.
If you live in this town, you don't know me. Oh wow, it's one of the good shots.
There you go. Yes.
That's my friend Mira, who's Israeli. She is my Melania. Yeah, she's
I'm not related, unfortunately.
When we were like a block from Trump Tower, right at Columbus Circle, and people at Korean TV happened to be doing a story, and they thought we were the actual Trump and Melania. And another reason why they thought that, there was a police unit at Central Park. You know New York, right? Yeah. Okay. So they're here. We're with them doing photos. So then we walk across the street and the police come with us to come over. So the Korean television was like, we lucked out. It's Trump and Melania in front of Trump Tower with the police. It was just
so do you play into that when that happens? Like you get into character, right?
Oh, I never. But the time it takes for me to get the wig glued on, get the makeup done, age my face, contour my nose, all that stuff, and put the elevator shoes on, and just having Mira there, it just anything as an actor that gives you that little hello everybody, where you guys from? Korea, we love the Korean people, great people, fantastic people. Did you know what LG is Lucky Gold Star? Did you know that? Yeah, we know. So Mr. Trump, it was great.
Well, the world is truly a stage.
I truly,
Right?
truly,
I mean-
especially in New York.
Oh God!
Especially in New York.
My daughter now is she's a sub sound engineer for 3 of the plays on Broadway now. So
Wow.
she's living it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in Jersey, but I was a 10-minute train ride right in, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the world is a stage, and you know what? Obviously, I'm nowhere near your level whatsoever of even entertaining. But when I'm up and about town, and I in a store or a restaurant,
Right.
I'll play with the server or someone behind the counter and get into having some fun with them. So the world is a stage when
That's how he got arrested.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's right. I'm still trying to
This
get
is
that expunged.
this is community service, by the way. This entire show.
Because I ain't being paid, folks.
2 more years and he doesn't have to do this anymore.
Actually, the criminal record is under Phil Cohen. Aaron Phillips is safe. Anyway, but really though, when you're in that character, like you said, how long does it take you to get the makeup? and be
Takes
ready?
an hour. It takes me an hour.
Didn't you do a
because-
tutorial once on showing backstage
Yeah.
how you get into?
I've done,
that.
yeah, did a couple different, did one for Slate Magazine, did another thing for another publication, then I shot one myself. I've
Right.
also done the high speed one.
Okay.
Because that,
Right.
just so you can see it. The most important part is that wig.
Yeah.
That wig is the most important element because that's the funny thing about putting wigs on, and your
Right.
daughter works on Broadway.
Right.
We're still putting wigs on the way they put wigs on. I'm not kidding. 150 years ago, we're still using spirit gum.
Right.
And then I put
Wait, spirit gum?
it's called spirit
Oh,
gum.
okay. I was
it's
seeing
called
the actual
spirit
gum.
Yeah. And it's a glue, and the wig is is built on a French lace frame. It takes
Gotcha.
100 hours to make it.
Wow.
They're like $4,000 or $5,000.
Is that real hair on there?
It's real human hair.
Wow.
And that's why it looks so. I have multiple wigs. There's probably other Trump photos. But when you put it on, I always make sure like it's visually right.
Right, it
Just
has
because
to
I
line
have
up right.
OCD, you
Right.
know, and it hits my actual,
Hairline.
usually my head, yeah, hits.
Right.
And then you start gluing it, and I start in the middle, work my way out, and then I work my way down, and it's a little inch by inch process.
Sure.
It has to be right because if you pull it off, the glue has already dried.
Mhm.
If you pull it off, and then it's white, and then it looks like crap.
Right.
So it's just a very, it takes about 20 minutes to get it on. Then I tape the back, and then I wait to style it. Then I do the base makeup. Then I do the raccoon eyes. Then I have a round face.
Mhm.
You have a nice long face. You'd be perfect for Trump. But I have a round face. That's why it's perfect. That's why I'm perfect for every Mike Myers character. But for someone like Trump, I have to cheat.
Right.
So when we built the wig so it's a little higher up.
Okay.
So if you see Trump's actual hairline, it goes pretty much here. I can't do that. My face has to be longer. So we raised it up here.
Gotcha.
Just little visual
Sure.
tricks. So then I age around my eyes. My face is kind of fat, but I don't have the nasolabial folds. I have them, but I have to contour them in.
Dig him in.
And then he has a weird thing around his nose like this. I do that, and then I do the crow's feet, and then he's got the skin that's breaking. So
Right.
so all that, all those tiny little things add for definition, and I have to do the makeup differently outside as
Right.
opposed to when I'm
You
on
don't
camera.
want it sweating off.
You don't want it sweating off, and you don't want it to look makeup-y.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
There's nothing worse. You're like, why is that guy wearing makeup? So then I have to tone it down and cut
Sure.
it pretty much in half. And that probably takes the longest. Austin's pretty quick. I've got him down to, pretty much a science.
How many total, I don't say characters, but how many total, I guess it really would be, do you have in your portfolio right
Well, I could probably do about 100 impressions.
Okay.
And, I'm always working on other ones.
Sure.
But with characters, I'm 60 years old. I started doing impressions when I was 5.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Who was your first impression?
My first impression was John Biner doing Ed Sullivan.
Oh my God.
So and I had a severe speech impediment as a child. I was in speech therapy for 8 years. But my neighbors, I lived in Ambler, Pennsylvania. It was a row home neighborhood. It's as if someone dragged a South Philly neighborhood out. So hundreds and hundreds of row homes. And in the summer, people didn't have air conditioning yet, So I would watch Biner on Ed Sullivan, and I would come outside, and the neighbors are all sitting there. It's the late 60s, it's early 70s. They're all drinking away. And I would come out, and I would go, now, right on our shoe, the fabulous Garbacho brothers and Girl Scout Troop 625 girls, stand up and show us your cookies. So
Today that has a whole nother meaning.
yes, well, it did that too. I didn't know it. That's why the adults.
I was going to say at 5
Yeah.
years old you wouldn't know it.
I had no idea, but that's what I would do, and I would watch. And I watched I watched Sullivan, and everybody was on that show.
Sure.
John Biner, Fred Travellina.
That's another great
Somebody
voice.
that I saw who later became a massive influence on me was David Fry.
Wow.
David Fry kind of changed everything for me, and that was a little later. I think I was 11 or 12. I found his album at Amblin Music, and I walked in and they were playing the album, and I'm like, what is this? I hadn't heard a comedy album really, other than like Von Meter and during JFK. But I was like, what is this? It goes, oh, this is David Fry. He's a comedian. He's an impressionist. He does Nixon and all these. And I saved up and I bought that album. That album had him doing over 40 voices.
Right.
The additional voices were Gabe Kaplan right before he went on to do
Welcome Back.
Welcome Back. I mean, a year later too. I was like, wait a minute, he's on my album. And to me, it was like one of those things like, oh, you have to be a supporting player. All these things kind of played together. But that album had a narrative structure. So it opens with him being almost like a Walter Winchell character, talking about the Watergate Hotel was robbed. Everyone, they were all arrested except for one, and the door slams. Pat, lock the door. So it's Nixon getting into the car, and the next thing is Nixon visiting the Godfather. So that's him doing Marlon Brando and Nixon, and it was just like, and it went all the way through to him being arrested. Sound familiar? Actually going to court, being arrested, and then all wakes up and it's a dream.
Right.
And it was just this. And impressionists up to that time would say, and now. Jack Nicholson.
Right.
And I'd seen all these impressionists and I appreciated them doing the voices. But when I heard David Fry, I'm thinking, oh, this is like a movie. This is like a TV show. And that kind of changed everything for me. And I started writing comedy based on that, as opposed to just doing a voice.
Right.
How you doing, Pilgrim? But actually having some content that makes it, So that was a big influence on me.
At what point, now you were 5 when you did that first impression. At what point did you say, what was your aha moment to say, you know what, I can make a run at doing this as my living down the line? Like when you graduated high school, what were your visions for a career at that point?
Well, over all those years, at 5 years old, at 7 years old, at 8 years old, at 10 years old, I remember watching Columbo, and I loved Peter Falk, who later on I loved as an actor. But I remember thinking, wait a minute. I think I can do that. Folks, I hate to bother you. I was outside and I could hear you all talking, and I just remember, and the adults would just go, how's he doing that?
Right.
And I loved Groucho. Groucho was before, hello, I must be going. I can't say again. So I would always see the adults react to me.
Right.
And they're like, how's he doing? So I thought, that's really great. But I didn't know anybody in show business.
Sure.
But I did everything I could in high school. I did the Drama Guild. I did the spring show. I did the fall show. I would put together a talent show. I would do the mime show, anything I could do.
Right.
But we knew no one in show business. My dad was a steel worker who literally made nuts and bolts at Standard Press Steel in Glenside, Pennsylvania. And I was always under the impression, well, somewhere along the line, someone's going to see me.
Right.
Which is not actually the case.
It's taken me 17 years to be a non-overnight success.
Yeah.
So I get what you mean.
Yeah. So you just keep going, and then when I was going to college, I was advised, I was in Pennsylvania and I ended up going to East Stroudsburg. I wish, you always kind of go back, but if someone had said, you should go to Emerson, you're a funny guy, and you're a writer, and you love TV. We had a TV studio in our hotel, one of the few, because where my high school was, it was actually a really well-funded school. And I got to make movies and do TV and do all these performances. And kind of it was very elevating, but still no career path.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. So I went to East Stroudsburg, got auditioned for everything. And usually freshmen in college don't get shows. I was getting the shows. And then this is when well-known actors would come in and speak. And I'm thinking, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And we were close to New York, so I would take trips to New York, just to get a feel for New York.
Right.
And then I transferred to Temple in Philadelphia, and I said, I need a plan. I'm a writer. I know I'm not going to score a show and make enough money to live in New York. So I wanted to be a copywriter.
Okay.
So I started putting samples together and then ended up working at 2 different ad agencies. And my plan was build my book. And then with that, get a job in New York and then start studying acting, doing the stand-up and the whole bit. And of course, nothing goes as planned. Nothing. And I couldn't stand having a job. I felt like the time during the day was just a waste.
Right.
And so I just started doing it the old-fashioned way, going to open mic nights, doing comedy.
The pavement.
Yeah, just doing it the old, getting headshots done.
Right.
And doing everything, and things start kind of coming together. You meet your local Philadelphia community of actor comedians, and then start to go to New York for auditions and back and forth and back and forth. And then and now it's like it's 87, 88. And then I got a play in Philadelphia, Tony and Tina's Wedding. This is 1989. And the show was a big success in New York.
Right.
And
also had a run here for a while.
Yes.
Didn't it, too?
But we did the original 3.5 hour version, which was, oh my
Who
God.
could eat that long?
So we went to New York. We were cast out of New York. And then we did the show. When we were actually in the show, we were there doing the show there, and then we were spun off and sent down to Philadelphia. And then that show ran. It was like the #1 show in Philadelphia. I mean, really, it had a buzz. Right. So that ran for almost a year, and we were at a real church. And then a real restaurant, which was the mob restaurant.
Oh yeah,
in Philadelphia. It was Toronto's, and then it was Cousins, and all the mob guys were there. Fascinating. Those stories alone were amazing. So then we went to Atlantic City. We went to Trump Plaza. We were there for 3 months, and that's the first time I met Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the show ended, and then I was back to, what am I going to be now?
Right.
What am I going to do?
Right.
And then just same thing. I got into a comedy troupe. I was doing stand-up. One of the actors from that Tony and Tina show, we started doing just so many open mic nights. And I built my way up. I was an opening act and a middle, and I had some shows in Pittsburgh at the Bananas there, and their actual headliner didn't make it, so I moved up a couple of nights to be a headliner. And I did that for a number of years, and then I thought, I was working with some incredibly funny guys. I mean, road warriors who could take an audience and just kill them. And in one particular week, I had a show at the Villa East in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I had my first corporate job.
Oh, okay.
So I did the Villa East, and if you ask any stand-up, the club, every club is different. Every owner is different. So I walked in, and this guy's at the, eating like this, that you just got released from Cell Block C, and I'm like, hey, I'm kind of a big guy, and I'm like, not big, I'm just over the top, like, hey, how you doing? I'm John D. Domenico. I'm your featured act this week. And he's like, don't even look up. Well, I hope you're effing funny, because the last guy your agency sent sucked. Great. Can you show me to my broom closet?
That's right. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. But those shows killed, and I was really happy about it. And that following week, I had my first corporate job, flew me first class.
Wow.
Which I'd never done.
Yeah.
Got out of the car, guy met me at luggage, which had never happened. Had my name, which had never happened. I think this is 97.
Right.
It was for Sony, so they had money. The guy, the guy's like, it was supposed to be a town car, but all I have is a limo. Do you mind? I'm like, do I mind that I'm in a limo? No, I don't mind. And then we went to the Swan, and then I went to my room. And, I literally grew up poor. My dad, like I said, was a steelworker. We had nothing. We had nothing. And went down and met the team. And all these team were Broadway people. doing and I didn't know about corporate. This world did not exist.
Sure.
I didn't even know it. But I meet all these guys. They go around the table. Hi, I'm Mark Evans. I was an associate director on Hello Dolly. And next person, I was just finished up a 2-year run of some Broadway show. I was the lighting guy. And then they get to me, and I'm like, oh, I just played Barney last weekend at a child's party, which wasn't that far from the truth. So, and after I did that, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Right.
This is what I want to do. Because that show, that audience was amazing. And I got to work with amazing people in incredible locations and make much better money than doing comedy. That night after that show, I took just my yellow pad, put a line down it, and I tried to think of every company I could think of and every city. And I said, that's where my money is.
Right.
That's where it is. It's not going to Bristol, Pennsylvania to do comedy at the Comedy Works and make $125. This is working with an amazing team. And it was the first time I could ever see everything. Like, listen, if I can build my equity up with these people, they're going to bring me back. They want dependability.
And they're going to spread the word.
And that started a run from about 1998. Other than 9/11, we had the industry was, but all the way up to the crash in 2008, where I had just an incredible run, and I was doing public stuff too.
Right.
But I was making real money performing and meeting some other people. I met Jay Farrow on a video shoot. I met other comedians because these shows had budgets.
Sure.
And I just got to meet so many great people and got to write so much material and learn really how to craft it. And then with 2004, I started doing Trump for him. The first job I ever did was for him.
Right.
But then I folded him into my menu of characters because there haven't been that many well-known business people that you can have in a meeting.
Right.
That's so funny.
Right.
I can come in and do the treasurer's report. I can do the general session. I can host the awards thing and roast the top executive.
Right.
So he was really a great character, and it was a great time to be doing corporate in general.
Did he give you feedback on you impersonating him?
Well, the very first, this is what happened in 2004. I got a call from one of my agents, and she said, "Are you doing Trump?" And I said, "I'm kind of doing Trump. I've met him. I did his birthday party. I did his 55th, not as Trump as Austin." And I said, "He's in my head. We're Northeast United States, New York, Philadelphia." And I said, "Give me 1 hour." And what I do with everything is I write it down. So I wrote down, this is what I learned when I was going through the 8 years of speech therapy.
Right.
Throat placement, nasal placement, vocal production. They used to make me over enunciate on purpose. Well, who over enunciates more than Trump? Right?
That's right.
So all these elements came together, and I called him back and I said, I can do it. And I ran out to Barnes & Noble because they had just released the box set of The Apprentice.
Oh, wow.
And it was very useful. I was, blood team, green team. Today you're making lemonade on the streets of New York. But it was all very scripted.
Sure.
The bonus material in that first season, if you'll remember, they're down to 4 people. And it's a guy and a girl who are now falling in love with each other.
Oh, okay.
And Trump is fascinated by it. He's fascinated. So it's like, so you two have something going on, right? She's very attractive.
Right.
She's very attractive. And you're a good-looking guy. So there's a little romance. There's a little romance. And I was thinking, oh, this is it. This is the piece I need. And I'd heard him on Stern because there's like 5 different Trump voices. There's not just one.
Right.
And I got the audition. I went in, did the audition, and 2 days later, they called my agent, said he got it, and then they called me, and they said, "This is for Trump. You'll be supplying the voice of Donald Trump at Trump Taj Mahal in the boardroom game," which was a ripoff of The Apprentice.
Sure.
So I recorded hundreds of words, hundreds of phrases, colors, numbers, and they had a George Ross and a Carolyn Kepcher, who were the original co-hosts. Right. And they were saying, "Mr. Trump will be here any moment. He's coming down. The phone rings. Hello, everybody. It's me. Unfortunately, I'm stuck on a very big league deal, which I'm working on." And that was the whole premise. So everything was done by phone. That's how they could. And then the other 2 hosted the whole bit. And then that was 2004. And then in 2006, I got another call, frantic call from a publicist. They said, you're the guy who did the Trump voice for the, for the people. And I said, yeah. We need you tomorrow in New York, which was easy. I lived right outside of New York. And they said, Mr. Trump was supposed to do a cross promotion for The Apprentice again between Embassy Suites and the show and The Apprentice, but he's unavailable. So you've been approved because they showed him my pictures and everything. And they send me in. I'm supposed to do one segment on Fox and Friends. I pull up in a limousine. I walk out with the chef because the whole thing is this whole month because of the new new uniforms, which they picked on the show. This month at Embassy Suites, they're serving the domlet. And all these people, all the news people ate that. It was freezing cold. I felt so bad for them. So
not really, because you were.
I didn't have to eat it. That was kind of started all the Trump stuff, and then I saw years later during the run, 2015, 2016, I was at Fox News all the time because I was on Red Eye because a buddy of mine, just by sheer coincidence, who I'd done many shows with, Tom Shalhoub. Okay. He became the host of Red Eye, like right around the time that Trump announces, "Do you want to be my Trump?" I'm like, hell yeah! So one of those times I was on because now Fox and Friends in the Morning would ask me to come on. When I was on, I met Kellyanne. Okay, and she said he likes you. He likes you. Well, you're the nice Trump. You're the
nice Trump. How to classify that? The nice Trump.
The nice Trump, because there were some other comedians who were ripping him specific. I won't name.
No, that's okay.
But and I'm more satirical, but I'm not a mean person. Right. So I wasn't doing anything like that. So that I thought that was very, very funny.
Well, that's good. I mean, I got to imagine, like you said, they're impersonators in all walks of life. I mean, here in town we have a great Neil Diamond impersonator. I mean, you name it.
Yeah, Rob.
Rob, you know him, and I've interviewed him a couple of times. But I always wonder what the target that is being impersonated always feels like when they see somebody doing them. And do they give the feedback, or do they just suck it up and, all right, that's part of what I do, and they're doing this on me, So I've always been intrigued by that. But I got to stop you right there, so I got to go to my last break of the hour because I do have some bills to pay. So I love Peter Falk in Columbo. I grew up watching the NBC Mystery Series, right? Remember? And of course, he had played the grandpa in
Princess Bride.
Thank you, which was a great movie. So
and he was in the Cassavetes films where he was so raw.
Oh yes,
so raw.
And you don't realize at first. It's him,
because I had seen Columbo first, and then I saw the Cassavetes films. I'm like, he was a good actor, but you're like, oh, he's really good. Exactly. You have no idea how raw he was.
So, just one more thing, ma'am. I'm going to turn it over to Peter Falk here to take us to break.
Folks, I'm a little confused. I thought we were getting paid by somebody, some multimillionaire, but it turns out we've got to take a break and do some promotions. What camera are we on? I can't tell. I've got my bed on. We'll be right back as soon as we sort this out, folks.
Hey, everybody. I am Aaron Phillips. You are?
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDB-TV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
Avengers, I want you all to check out Aaron's Hour. It is Saturdays from 12 p.m. with the voice himself, Aaron Phillips. Of course, he's got the full support of, the Las Vegas Avengers, the Empire, and of course, all you heroes out there.
I just started doing acting classes. Hi there, we're back. Columbo, will welcome us back.
Folks, all right, we need everyone to just to sit down for a second. I'm going to tell you who killed this guy.
I killed my show. All right, we're having some great fun with John D. Domenico. Unfortunately, we have less than 15 minutes left, and I wish the station didn't have anybody else following me at 1:30. Otherwise, I'd say we stay up. We don't have him. Max not here today?
He canceled.
So if we go over a little bit?
Yeah, we can go to 4 o'clock, but that's it.
Just a little bit, sir.
Just a little bit.
Let's see. I don't know.
Right, yeah, check the bank account, will you?
You know, Mrs. Columbo loves
Will
you.
you stay till 4 if I got another 5 in the deal?
I have other things to do.
That's right.
Sadly.
So I'm going to throw you some curveball questions. Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh is correct. But they are quick response. They are like no time to think, first thing that comes to mind, all right? So first question, who's your favorite actor?
Favorite actor right now is Bryan Cranston.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Because he's a modern day Gene Hackman, and if you watch Gene Hackman from Bonnie and Clyde through Runaway Jury through everything, he never changes his look.
Yeah.
Not one tiny bit. But when you see him on screen before he speaks, you know he's a high-powered attorney.
Right.
You know he's a criminal goofball. You know who he has that ability. I'm a makeup guy.
Right.
I studied acting, but he doesn't do anything. He makes in acting, he makes very fine adjustments, and he
doesn't have to go far.
He doesn't have to go far.
Right.
He just nails it.
Who's your favorite actress?
My favorite actress, I guess it sounds kind of hackneyed, but I would say Meryl Streep.
Okay.
I'm just so impressed with her. And here's the other one, Nicole Kidman. I've seen a couple of things where I'm like, man, she's really good.
What do you do for entertainment for yourself, though? As an entertainer with what you do, you're asked a lot to do. But what do you do to kick back? And what do you do for, like, what's your favorite movie? What do you do for relaxation in your entertainment?
Well, for what I do on a daily basis is the beauty of YouTube is just discovering so many amazing people. I love sketch comedy. I was in a sketch comedy group. And, here we are, 350 million people in this country, and we only have Saturday Night Live, which really focuses
not anymore, not what it used to be.
Well, because it really focuses on a much younger audience. Right. And every now and then they'll break out. I don't want to, but having said that, in Britain on BBC One and BBC Two, they have like 8 sketch shows. And I'm thinking, like, why do they have 8? They're the size of a shoebox. And they have all this amazing comedy, all this amazing sketch. It's all satirical. And I was literally watching a 10-year-old sketch show today.
Did you ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yeah, of course. I actually worked with those guys in Canada.
Really?
I had a show with them in the past year. Yeah, it was Colin and the guy who lives here. Not Brian. It was, I'd have to look it up. It was definitely Colin, and I want to say Brad.
Oh, Brad, I want to say Sherwood.
Sherwood. Yes, those are 2. And I took that night, I posted it on Facebook and everything. There's my name, there's their name, and they're on the door. I'm thinking, like, I'm working with these guys. How lucky am I? Right. To get to work with these guys. I haven't been on, done some TV and film work here and there, but these guys are it. They are the definitive improv guys. And I got to work with them. It was, it was a corporate event. Sure. It doesn't matter to me. Right. I shared the stage with them.
That's right. It's still all green, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that show. I want to I just started acting lessons. Yeah. My guest, by the way, next week is my teacher, Frank Perillo, who is a well-known scriptwriter, trainer, not actor, but he's known around Hollywood for many, many years. I have him coming on. Some of his students have actually gone on to star in their own series on Netflix and things like that. But so I've been intrigued with the acting side. I've done some things in front of the camera, not this kind of stuff, but I just got bitten by the bug. Yeah. But improv comedy, because I'm more of a reactor when it comes to trying to make people laugh. I can't sit down and write a set and memorize it and deliver. If somebody wrote it for me, maybe. Right. But that type of improv, like, we can spend an hour talking about the different things a microphone can be and have fun with it, So it's interesting that the sketch comedy is something that you, and I miss it too. We don't have, that's why when you said Saturday Night Live, I mean, I haven't watched that show in probably 30 years. Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched it since the good old days of the Bill Murrays and Chevy Chases and that crew. When they started turning over, then it became a much different style show because of the audience that was watching it. Right. I always thought it was interesting when the show was really about on the verge of being canceled. I mean, really being canceled. They talk about all that. It was really going to be canceled. Right. Who did they bring in? They brought in Martin Short. They brought in Harry Shearer. They brought in Christopher Guest. I think they brought in Jim Belushi. They put this cast together, this insane cast, and the show got back up on its feet, and the ratings went back up. And then what do? They turn around and hire a bunch of crappy performers. Then one of the issues that I have, because people say to me all the time with Trump, like, why aren't you in SNL? Why aren't you in SNL? We had some communication with them, but the thing is, they're never going to hire me. Right.
they're never going to hire me. And it's not a talent thing. It's an age thing.
Correct.
So the guy they hired is like the guy who does Trump, who's actually very funny because he also does fun. He's like 32 or something, and the 3 other people who were hired along with him were like 22, 23, and 21.
Right.
Lauren, I don't know Lauren, but he seems obsessed with youth. And I understand that kind of drives he wants to keep a hip thing. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, maybe like Saturday Night Live, like 2.0, where people in their 50s, or their 60s or something, because all the things what we're experiencing as 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds and early 60s or through the 60s, because people are a lot younger now. You meet people who are 70 now, whatever kid,
except
70.
For John.
Except for John, he's ancient.
He's old.
But he's so old they discontinued his blood type. Did you know that? We can't get his blood, folks. So sad, so sad. But when I was a kid, 70 was really old. Now 70, you meet people here in this town 70. Like, did they tell you you're 70? Like, you're what?
Absolutely.
You look insane. You look amazing.
Right.
So things are different. I think humor is so important. And to target it to one audience, it's just kind of a bummer. And it kind of cuts out a lot of other great comedic talent. I know so many
opportunities.
Yeah. I know so many great comedic actors and actresses who are some are also stand-ups who deserve some kind of a platform.
Sure.
To be able to do it on a weekly basis.
Absolutely. Well, come here to WWDB TV. We'll give you all the air and access you want. Yes, John. The floor recognizes our producer, John Stiles.
I'd like to make a request. Can I make a request for an impression?
Of course.
Okay.
We've done Larry, we've done Austin, we've done
like
Trump.
To see John D. Domenico do John D. Domenico.
Right. This is it, sadly.
You don't even need makeup for that.
I don't even need makeup. Yeah. Yeah.
You get lost in the character sometimes so badly that you kind of have trouble getting out of it to become John?
It's funny because I did Wine, Women, and Shoes for St. Jude's Ranch, and I was walking with Kelly Vaughn, great entertainer, and Sandy Knight.
Right.
And I have the teeth in, so I'm in full costume. So I'm walking through Westgate, and I'm not going to break character,
Sure.
So I'm walking, and then we get to a point where we're just by ourselves, and I'm like, "So are you guys working this week?" and they go, "You don't have to do the voice." And I said, "I can't help it because I have the teeth in,
right.
which moves my tongue.
Different.
My tongue has to go to a different place because the teeth are, So, but when I was doing Austin a lot before Trump really took off, it was I would end phone calls with "Yeah, baby," and I'm thinking like, "Oh my God!"
I hear your voice. If I were to leave you a phone message, I can only imagine.
Right, and I'm like, "Why am I doing it?" Because you do it all the time.
Sure.
And then when that whole time on the run up from the time he announced to the election, literally doing him every day. And my brother Michael said, "You realize you're sounding like him all the time." And I said, "What are you talking about?"
I just had Sandy on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, she's
great.
with
me.
She was in a car accident.
I saw that. I saw the puss. Fortunately, she's okay. I'm sure. All right, couple of questions. And the quarter's about to run out.
Oh wow! Okay, let's go. Put some more quarters in, John.
That's right. Feed the gerbils under the desk, would you please? If a movie were made about your life, who would you like to see star as you? And I'm talking about John D. Domenico and his life as an impersonator. But,
wow, that's a great question.
Listen, I asked the tough ones. Larry King's got nothing on me for the tough question.
I would say Michael Chiklis.
The
older part.
Yes, the commish back in the day.
Commish, because we're very close in age.
Oh my gosh, you nailed that one for sure.
I think he's great. I think he's a super.
I miss him on TV on a regular basis. But he's a great. Well, he just did an episode of that. Well, it's not just, but there's a TV series on Fox called The Accused.
Yes. Oh, and he was on Winning Time. He was
Okay.
playing. What's his name? The owner of the. Boston Celtics. No, he's playing the coach of the Boston.
Right.
Yeah.
See, he picks his parts here and there, but I really like him. I wish he would do more regular. But Michael Chiklis is a great answer.
Yeah, he'd be perfect. And we'll just use fake stuff to make him younger.
Our friend Jennifer, I don't know why. I don't know what this means, but I'll ask it anyway. She says, "Can John say China in Trump style?"
Well, I know what you're talking about. Listen, over in China, terrible people, the Chinese. Terrible people. Great takeout, terrible people. But China is killing us. They're absolutely killing us. And the president, Xi Jinping, why would you put an X in your kid's name, right? Why would you do that? Why would you put an X? Ping, but I do like ping. Ping pong, bing, bing bong, pong, bing bong, bing bong.
By the way, it's Jennifer's birthday this week.
Oh, happy birthday, Jennifer.
There you go. All right.
Where is she in Hawaii?
She's in Hawaii.
Kihei or
She's in one of the islands.
She's on
Maui.
Jennifer, just respond to John. I forget what island you're on, but she's coming to Vegas at the end of June.
Oh,
she comes out
beautiful.
for a couple of weeks. So, all right, while we wait for her answer, I have two more questions for you. Number one, who's your favorite superhero, Batman or Superman? And in case you need a hint,
Yeah.
there you go.
You know, here's the thing. Superman has superpowers. Batman does not have superpowers.
She's on Oahu, by the way.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. But I loved it's always been tough, but I've loved Batman from the time of Adam West to these great iterations where they've made it more serious and a more serious look.
Christian Bale and then
Christian
Robert
Bale,
Pattinson.
and I'll tell you, I loved Michael Keaton. Actually, another great actor. I would put him on the list with Cranston. Another guy who does very fine adjustments in his performance. But when that changed, I was like, oh, this really is a real story. This is somebody who's disturbed,
right?
And he's taking his disturbedness to become a vigilante to make things right because he could not make things right as a child. I think the story has just so much depth, far more than you realize. That not that the Adam West.
I thought when Adam West died, a national holiday should have been declared.
Yeah.
Personally, because that's what I grew up on.
Yeah, what they did was perfect for that time. But to see the story become deeper and broader, and the Superman story too, and to learn that the guy who created Superman's this little nebbishy Jewish guy, and the name's Jor-El. All these names of these characters are almost biblical Jewish names, right? And you're like, wow. And the story of being him being sent away so he could live and keep. I'm like, this is pretty heavy when you learn the real origin story of these things.
Last question before we get ready to wrap up. When the day comes that you're standing at the pearly gates, what is it that you'd like to hear the maitre d' say before they let you in?
You see, you didn't have to worry. You were going to make it.
There you go. Yeah. I love it. What voice would you like to hear the maitre d' say that to?
Well, I thought it was maitre d'. Wait a minute. I thought it was St. Peter.
Well, there you go. Is that how St. Peter would talk?
Yeah.
All right. We're just about out of time. John, it was a blast. I look forward to doing it again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Who's your most requested besides Trump? Is it Austin?
It's Austin.
It is.
Yeah, it's always Austin. And you know who I love? And you were talking about is not crazy about being impersonated. Guy Fieri, baby. Love piece of taco grease. Holy moly, stromboli, baby. I'm driving the bus to Flavortown.
All right, guys, why don't you take us out? Take us out.
Oh, take this out. All right, baby. Oh, it's on me?
This stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a voice I haven't done yet. Let's do Larry King because we're wrapping up. All right, folks. Tomorrow for the full hour, Charo. But until then, Garlic, it's unique. Tomorrow night, we're going to be back on the air. But right now, we're going to say goodbye to this fella and say goodbye to you. Thank you for watching. Buy our sponsors' stuff. Communicate with us, email us, TikTok us, whatever you want to do. We're going to be here all the time.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. King. All right.
What?
Be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have, everybody. We'll see you next week. Frank Perillo will be here. Enjoy the week. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend when I see you next week. Thank everybody for watching. Thank you again, John. See you, everybody.
Okay.